Hello students, I am Professor Priyanka and I welcome you all for our today's session. Today we are conducting our second lecture which is based on JavaScript chapter. On day 1 we have studied with some basics about what is scripting language, what role does it play while designing a website and many more things. Then we saw different types of scripts, what exactly a script is, then different types of scripting language or scripts we saw. What are the two types of script we saw? That is the client side and server side. Later we also discussed about the JavaScript features, and then we saw two ways to include any script or specifically JavaScript in our HTML code. That is, we can place the script in head section or body section or both. So if you want to include any script in your HTML code, there are two places where you can add, that is in the head section and in the body section. So now we'll see what all topics we will be covering in this lecture. So these are the contents of overall chapter what we'll be discussing. So we have already completed with the introduction of scripting language, then features of JavaScript, then types of scripting and differences between them. Then later we saw how to insert a JavaScript in HTML. And now today we will see what is a variable in JavaScript and what role it plays. Then later we will see how to declare a variable and then understand the rules for naming the variable. Then we will also see what are different data types which are supported by JavaScript, and we will discuss some examples based on each data type. And at last we will see what is a comment and how to add a single line comment and multi-line comments in our JavaScript program. So let us start with our today's lecture. So variable. Yes, what can you say a variable is? What comes into your mind that what could be a variable? You have already studied a variable in your school, right? We used X variable, Y variable. Why it is called as a variable and what a variable is? So a variable, you can say that it is a basic storage unit in JavaScript program. What does a storage unit means? Means a place you can think of where you can store your data safely. So this is what a variable is. Now if you want to give a name to a variable, see, I'll give you one example. Suppose your house, right? So your house means it is a storage unit where you are living, means where you are placed into your house. So this house has got some address, right? So that address means name for that place and you are staying in that house. So you become the data and your house is a variable. Now why it is called as a variable? Because the data which is stored in that place can be changing. It may not be remaining constant. If it is constant, then the data which is stored in the variable will be same throughout. But since it is a variable, means it can change as the time progresses. That is why it is called as a variable. So suppose we can take a house and then suppose there is a person who is staying in the house permanently, means he owns that house. So that data is constant for that house. Please try to relate data with the person staying in the house, and the house is called as a variable. Suppose that house is given on rent. So the tenants which will be staying, those are also called as data because they are staying in that house. But it may not happen that for this year there is one tenant, maybe next year or after 2-3 years the data or the tenants will change, so that is called as variable. And if your house is permanent and you are the one who is staying in the house, so you will be constant. So are you getting it what exactly a variable is? So again I'll repeat, a variable, you can say it as a basic storage unit for our data, means it is a storage unit where you can store our data. Now since this data will be changing, it may not be same forever, that is why it is called as a variable. If it would have been remaining the same, it is called as a constant, because the data which is stored in the storage unit will be same forever, that is why it is called as a constant. So I hope you have got the difference between variable and a constant. Now we will see how to declare a variable in JavaScript. So for declaring a variable, or if you want to use a variable in your JavaScript, so there is a keyword called as var. Now understand student, JavaScript is a case sensitive or insensitive language. It is a case sensitive language. So here you have to keep in mind that you have to concentrate on the case of your alphabets. Okay, so the keyword will be small var. If you use capital var, then it will not be treated as a keyword. Understand, small var, the one which is indicated in blue color, that are the keywords which are used in JavaScript. So you cannot use this keywords for any of your purpose, because they have already got some purpose which is defined by JavaScript. So if I want to take a variable, suppose variable x in my program of JavaScript, so how do I take? I need to use the keyword var, and I have to give the name to a variable, because how I will understand what is my variable? So var space whatever name you have to give to your variable. So currently my variable name is x, that, and after that there is a semicolon. In JavaScript, after completing your particular instruction, you have to give the semicolon just to indicate that you have finished the first instruction. Okay, you already know that what is a script? It is the list of different instructions given. So this is my instruction that I want to declare a variable as x. So how I will declare? var space x and semicolon. Right. So now this name for a variable, I cannot give name anything. There are some rules which you have to keep in mind. According to those rules, you have to give the name to the variable. So we will see what exactly a name for this variable can be given. Before that, just look into that diagram. You can see the blue bucket which is a storage unit, that is why it is called as a variable, and you can see the data is changing. First there is some data in that bucket, after some time that data is removed and new data is put into that bucket, that is why it is a variable. So in a variable the data remains changing. Okay, so now what is the first rule? They must start with an alphabet. So suppose I want to give a name to my variable, the first alphabet, the first letter or the first thing for a variable should be an alphabet. After that you can give maybe a number or followed by again alphabet. So example could be var space a1. So now if I want to give name as a1, it is a valid. Why? Because the starting of my variable name should be always an alphabet, not with a number. Okay. Second, uppercase and lowercase are distinct. So we have already discussed that JavaScript is a case sensitive language. So both, though the spelling are same, but if the case are different, they are treated as different. We'll see what exactly I am trying to say. This means that the variable, suppose I have given or I have taken a variable called as sum, that is sum, and another variable I have taken as capital SUM. So though they sound the same, but since it is a case sensitive, so these are treated as two different variables. Okay. Similarly, I have given one example as AVG. AVG, suppose I have to calculate some average, that is why I am using AVG for my variable name. But I have taken two variables, AVG which is in small and comma, there is another capital AVG. These both look same or sound same, but these are treated as two different storage unit, that is two different variables. Okay. Now third rule, it should not contain blank space or special symbol except underscore. Means your variable name should not have any extra space between the letters or the alphabets or any other special character like star, dollar. No, you can only use the underscore. But how underscore? First letter should be some alphabet, then you can follow it by underscore or number, anything. So you can see in the example what it is given, var space a underscore 1. So this is a valid variable name. Next, standard keywords are not allowed as variable name. Just now we have discussed that there are some standard keywords which are defined by JavaScript which you cannot use as your variable name. So we will see there are some example given as document, then while, then else, if. These are some keywords which are already predefined in JavaScript, so you cannot use them. Now even else is a keyword, but now you can see in the example what I have given, var space else 1. Now this is a valid variable name. Why? Because I am not using any keyword. It is not simply else. I have written as else 1. That is why it is considered as a valid variable name. And lastly, variable name can be limited up to 255 characters. So you are limited up to only 255 characters. You cannot give such a long name for your variable. Okay, so these are some rules which you need to keep in mind while you are naming a variable. Okay, is that clear? So let us move to the next slide. So now I have to use a variable. So obviously there will be some syntax for how to declare a variable. Now for variable there are two things which we'll see. There is a one part that is declaring a variable and then initializing a variable. Okay, so we'll see what exactly it is. So the topic is syntax to declare a variable or variables. Means you can declare a single variable, or if you require multiple variables, how to declare them in your program. So first line var, which is a keyword to declare a variable, and space, you have to give a name for your variable. So here variable a is declared. Now you can see that's two lines, that is a comment part. We'll later see what exactly a comment is. I know you already know because we have already seen. The comment is not considered as the part of the code, but it is for the help or reference for the programmer to understand what exactly is done by that particular line or instruction. So you can see where a means you are declaring a variable a. Simple. Second line variable b, and third line variable c. So this is how you have declared three variables, means you have generated three spaces a, b, c in which you will be putting some data. Agree? Now suppose I have got 10 different variables. I am not going to write different 10 lines. So if I want to declare these 10 variables in a single line, so how can I do it? Where a comma b comma c. This is how in a single line I can declare multiple variables. So how to do this? We can declare more than one variables by simply comma separating them. So you can see a comma b comma c. This is how you can declare multiple variables. Okay. Now below you can see now where a equal to 100. Now in this particular line we have declared a variable as well as we have initialized a variable. See, previously what we were doing, where a means just imagine a empty bucket named as a, but in that bucket there is no data, right? So it was just declaring the variable. It was not initializing. Initializing means putting some data into your variable. So here in the line where a equal to 100 means you are declaring a variable called as a name, and into that variable you are putting this 100 data. Understand by the diagram shown on the right side. You can see there is a bucket, that is our variable, where you can store your different types of data. So what name I have given to my variable? It is a, right? Where a. And equal to means I am storing this 100 into this bucket. which is called as a A, right? Again, on the second line you can see multiple declaration and initialization. Now in this second line you can see where A equal to 10, comma B equal to 5, comma C equal to 8. So here in this particular line you are again making two steps merging, that is declaring multiple variables and as well as initializing them with some data. So here in this line you can imagine that there are three buckets A, B, C, which is the name for that variable, and in those I am putting 10 in A, 5 in B and 8 in C. So this is how a variable is declared and then later initialized with some data. Agree? Simple enough. Next, now we have seen that we are going to put some data in our variable, right? So in previous slide we were using some numbers 100, 10. So it is not necessary that you can only use number. I can put hello, I can put name in my variable. So the different types which we can save the data in our variable are known as data types, means different types of data which can be used for our JavaScript. So first we will see what exactly a data type is. Now computers are mainly used for calculations while storing information and to do complex operations. So why do we require a computer? For storing purpose, for making some calculations and different types of operations, right? Then we can store this information which is in the form of alphabets, numbers or alphanumeric values. So we have already seen that this data can be different. It could be a number, it could be some letters, it could be some special characters or combination of this. Agree? That is the alphanumeric values. So which all types of data are supported by JavaScript. So there are total 6 data types which are supported by the JavaScript. We will see each one individually. So JavaScript provides data types to store and use different types of value that are first a number. So if I say where A equal to 100 means my data is what? 100. So this data 100 is of number type. Agree? So that is why that 100 is treated as a number. Second is a string. So suppose I say where A equal to hello, which is in double quotes, because when mentioning some string or the series of alphabets, you have to either enclose in single character or single comma or double inverted comma. So that is a string. Then boolean. Now this boolean can take only two values. Either it will be true or false. You cannot give any other value for the variable. So suppose I say where A equal to true. So this will be treated as a boolean type of data. Agree? It will not be treated as a string. String means it will be coming into single inverted comma or double inverted comma. But if I say variable A equal to true or variable A equal to false, this will be treated as a boolean type of data. Understand this. Next, null. Null means what? Nothing, empty. Then next is infinity. Infinity means what? There is no limit for that data. It is up to infinity. We'll see examples for this infinity, then you will understand. And last is undefined, means it is not defined. You have not specified what type of data a variable will have. So in the next slide we will see some tabular format and we will be looking into different types of examples for each data type. So now here you can see different data types which we have already seen and purpose for which it is used. So first we will see a number type of data. So now numerical value declaration which can hold whole number, integers as well as decimal values, that is called as a floating number. So this number type of data type can be an integer. Now integer means it can take negative values and positive values. Agree? And decimal values means which are the floating point of numbers. This number can hold positive as well as negative values. Okay, so you can see in the below line example where A equal to 100. Now this is a positive integer, right? Where B equal to minus 5. So it is again an integer but a negative value. So minus 5 is also valid. Then variable c equal to 10.6. Now this is what? Floating point number, which consists of a decimal number, that is 10.6. Now since it does not have any sign, it is a positive type of decimal value. And last is where d equal to minus 45.6. So this is a decimal value or a floating point number, but it is a negative. So these are all different possible values you can give for the number type of data, right? Based on the data you are providing, the JavaScript will automatically understand what type of the data it is. Here nowhere we are mentioning that this is a number type or this is a string type. No, the JavaScript will understand automatically based on the value you are giving. Okay, so next, second is what? The string. Now this string is used for storing some text. Means when there is a purpose where you need to store some alphabet string or some series of alphabet, that is called as a text. So that time you will be using this string data type. Now this string, it could be enclosed in either single quote or double quotes. We earlier only discussed that whenever you have to store some string or some alphabet series, you need to enclose it in either single quote or double quote. So in the example you can see where x equal to hello, but it is enclosed in single inverted commas and then semicolon. Means since it is given with the single inverted comma, it will be treated as a string or a text. Similarly, where str, which is my name for the variable str, equal to double quotes information technology, right? So this double quotes and single quotes tells the JavaScript that this data is of type string. Next, boolean. Now this boolean is used for declaration in between two fixed values of conditions. So we have already seen the value may be either true, false, or it could be yes or no. You cannot give values other than this, right? Now here you can see what value I am giving, where a equal to true. Now you will be getting confused, ma'am, true is also a text, right? But now look, I have not used any single quote or double quote, so that is why it is not a string. If I would have used single quote or double quote, it would have treated it as a simple string, but no, I am giving it value as true or false because the JavaScript understands that it is a boolean type of data. So you can give a equal to true, equal to false, a equal to yes, or a equal to no. Nothing other than this. Okay. Next, infinity. Now when can we get a value equal to infinity? Infinity means we cannot count, right? So whenever we divide any number by 0, so obviously we get the value as infinity. So suppose in any of your calculation you are dividing a particular number by 0, the result which you will be getting is infinity. Okay. Next, null. Now what is null? Null, just a value that means nothing, empty and unknown. It is supposed to be something that does not exist. Means if nothing is there, it does not exist, that is called as a null, right? Then last and very important is undefined. Now whenever a variable is declared, it has to be assigned by some value. Remember, variable a equal to 100 means what we are doing, we are taking a bucket in which we are storing 100 and the name for that variable is given a. But if you are not writing equal to 100, that variable is only declared. That variable does not store any data. So such variable is called as undefined. Undefined means you have not defined or you have not put any value into this variable. So if there is a variable, suppose where a semicolon, and you are displaying the value for that variable, means suppose you are displaying variable a, so it will be giving the result as undefined. Why? Because you have not initialized the variable, right? Next, comments. So what exactly a comment is? What do you think? What is a comment? So these comments are generally non-executable statements in a program. Means those are not considered as the instructions by the engine. These comments are generally used to provide information or explanation about your programming construction. So as I have earlier told that these comments are not treated as the part of your program. It is simply to make the programmer understand what exactly your instruction is doing for this particular line. So these statements added in comments are ignored by JavaScript. Means even if you write these comments, the program will be, or the engine or the JavaScript will not consider this as a part of your program. It will be ignoring it. Okay. Now there are two ways how you can use comments in your script. So first one is the single line comment and second is the multi-line comment. Suppose your comment or the statement or explanation you are giving for a particular instruction is small. So you can use a single line comment. So how do I do a single line commenting? Simply putting two black slashes before the sentence, it will be treated as a comment. Whatever is written on that particular line after those two comment lines or two slashes, only particular line till the end of that line, whatever text is written, it is treated as a comment. But now suppose I have got some function or some program I am creating and its explanation is quite big. So my comment cannot be completed in a single line. I need 2-3 lines. So if this is the case, you have to use a multi-line comment method. So how do I make this multi-line comment? So now here you can see slash star, that text whatever 2-3 lines are there, write those, and while ending you have to end with a star and slash, exactly opposite. Star slash star the sentences and star slash. This is how your multi-line comment looks as. So to understand it well, you can look into the below given program. So now what it is given, just ignore the basic tags. I am simply concentrating on the body part, which is used for displaying whatever is given. So what is given in the body? H2 JavaScript comments, and there we are using scripts. So we can place this script tag in which part of the HTML code. You can use it in a head tag or you can use in a body tag. So here I am using in body section. So what I am doing here, where x equal to 5 and semicolon. Now suppose somebody is not understanding what exactly this instruction means. So here I am giving 2 slashes, that means single line comment, and after that I am explaining what exactly that particular statement is doing. So what it is doing, declare x and give it the value of 5, means what, you are storing this 5 value into the x variable. Agree? Next, where y equal to x plus 2. Now what it is, declare y, give it the value of x plus 2. Now this is again also a single line comment. Now below you can observe I am giving a multi-line comment. So how it is given, slash star whatever text I have to give, and at the end you can see star and slash. So this particular part will be treated as a multi-line comment. So this is how you can give a single line comment and multi-line comment. And now next what it is given, document dot write, and into the bracket I am giving the y value. Means what it will do, it will calculate the value of y and it will just simply print the value of y. So in the output right side you can see H2 JavaScript comments. So the JavaScript comments has been applied with the H2 tag, and then on the new line document.write will display the value of y, because we want to print the value of y. How did we get that? Because in dot write bracket y means we have to print the value of y. So obviously if x is 5 and y equal to x plus 2 means 5 plus 2, that is the 7. So this is how you get the value as 7. And after ending the script, you are ending the body tag and HTML. So this is how comments are given for a JavaScript program. So let's see what is next. So now this is all for today's lecture. So we have completed with variables, what exactly a variable is, then how to declare a variable. There are some rules and I feel that you should be thorough with the rules, because this can be asked for your exam, that what are the rules to declare a variable, and those are very simple, right? Then after that we saw how to declare a single variable or multi variable. Then we saw how to combine declaration and initialization part for a single variable or multiple variable, right? This all we saw. Then next we saw that whatever different types of data we are storing into a variable, there are 6 total different types of data types which are supported by JavaScript. So those we have seen, right? And last we saw what exactly a comment is and how are the different ways to give comments, single line and multi-line. So these are all the topics which we have covered today. So this is the assignment 3.2. I hope you are solving the assignment in your notebook. So what is the first question? What is a variable and what are the rules to declare it? So you have to write all your answers by going through this slide, so that you will be thorough with the basics, so that we can move to the complex programming. Then next, what is the data type and what are the different data types in JavaScript? This also we saw. Then explain undefined and null data types with an example. Here you have to compare what is undefined and what is null. Okay, and what is a comment and what are the ways to add comments in a JavaScript program. So these all 4 questions answer will be completing whatever part we have completed in this today's lecture. So I am again requesting you all to solve the assignments, because it is going to help you a lot, because you are going to self study, right? So that is all for today's lecture. Thanks and bye bye.